we are starting the trek to Death Valley. The oldest rock here is 1.7 million years old, but here's the first stop. I don't know if you know guys that are Star Wars fans. They filmed a lot of the episodes up here. So, all right, starting the Death Valley 4-day backpacking trip. Okay guys, so that crater right there is Ubehebe crater. It is unbelievably cold. I feel like I'm in the Antarctic, but that's it right there. Okay, hey everybody, starting the journey now down to the crater, 700 feet on rock scrambling terrain. Should be fun, but remember, what goes down has to come up. Almost down to the bottom, walking all the way down to that clear part, but if you could see, this is where you hike up. Okay, scramble down. You know, being in Death Valley, it had so many different experiences and so much different scenery. And this like blew my mind, is standing on top and looking down at this huge hole that was geographically created by a volcano. Just to see the rock formations and the different colors and just the vastness was just an incredible experience, one that you would never forget.
Easy peasy, that's for sure. Whew. Good butt work, good cardio.
It was a challenge to climb down into this crater. I mean, first of all, you're looking at it like this force of nature created this big, beautiful hole. And what I wanted to do is I always try to challenge myself, so I knew going down was going to be tough because it's scrambling down all this loose rock and it's easy to fall down. But worst part is coming up. And you know, when you go down, you have to come back up. And coming back up, it's cold out and you have a lot of layers of clothing on. But when you're putting so much exertion and energy, it's like all of a sudden you feel like you're on fire, so you don't know whether to take your coat off or leave it on. And coming up 700 feet, it was like going through snow, except you're in rocks, and the rocks are getting into your shoes, into your boots, and it really is a challenge. You have to have a certain mindset to do this, and it's just one step at a time. Breathe out and just know that when you get to the top, you've created a challenge for yourself that you were able to accomplish. Okay, so now we are trekking the Golden Trail, and the oldest rocks here are at the bottom are approximately 5 million years old. It's a long time. Okay, so here we are walking up to the top of Red Cathedral. Feels like you're on another planet up here. Awesome. Okay guys, a little rock scrambling, getting up to the top there. Got to get your climbing on for this one. You know, one of the goals one should do is climb up to the top of the Golden Canyons. You could walk to the bottom and look up, but you really don't experience the vastness and the magnificence of all these mountain formations. I mean, when you're standing up on top, it just goes on and on and on. Different colors, different shapes. It's truly an adventure, and it's so close in the United States that if you're here, it's so easy to get to Death Valley. And prior to this, I didn't even know what Death Valley was. I just said, wow, it sounds interesting. Sounds like interesting to be in Death Valley. But I could tell you that when you stand on top and you challenge yourself and you go up to the mountain, you're going to see views like no other. And I always find that when you're up on top, and if you're just standing there in peace and silence and looking out, you just can really be in amazement of how beautiful our world is and so close to home. I took on the additional challenge to climb all the way to the top because if I'm experiencing something, I want to experience to the fullest. I don't want to say I did it half or 3/4 of the way. I want to do the best that I can do. And it was hard, but I always find that, when you're challenging yourself to go up to these mountains, you just take it easy and safely. And once you get to the top, it was so worth it. And coming down is a little bit harder. You should have trekking poles, so you could use that so you don't fall down. But if you use common sense and safety, you can climb up to the top and view scenes that you would never experience from below. Hey guys, so here we are up on top of Cathedral Rock. And here's the view from up on the top. It's pretty awesome. Okay, so what goes up must come back down. So, okay guys, coming off of the cathedral and coming down. This is the way we came up. And I don't know what the loop is. It's pretty, maybe 6 miles all the way around. So anyway, going back. The Badlands Loop is an incredible trek through rock formations and these amazing colors from the Zabriskie Point. I'm in just such awe of these rock formations. One of the things I like to do is find faces or different images in the rocks. And if you're really looking for them, you'll find them. And once you reach the top, you're greeted by this fantastic view of the most surreal landscape that you can imagine. When I'm surrounded by nature, painted by God's hand, I feel such a great stress relief. Reaching new heights brings a sense of accomplishment, and the reward is the beautiful view. I always take on these challenges with a smile. In martial arts, I've learned to set goals and keep going for them until I achieve it. Don't give up, no failures. So when I'm out doing adventure sports, I always find the hardest thing I could do, and I make it my goal and study how am I going to do this safely, correctly, and then I put my mind to it and do it. So now we are going through Gower Gulch Loop. Scenery's a little bit different. I think this is what they consider the sand dunes because this is all sand. And there is the image from YouTube for Joshua Tree album. Good morning, day 2 of the backpacking trip. It's nice and cold. It was very cold last night in my tent. I have to put on some more clothing today, but this is the backdrop of my backyard today. So hope it doesn't rain, and heading out. Death Valley has a unique beauty that must be experienced. There's so many spectacular 360-degree views that are breathtaking. It's just way too hard to describe them all. I learned that Death Valley is a vast desert area that covers more than 3 million acres, and it's also the largest U.S. national park outside of Alaska. With 3 million acres, I feel really blessed just to have touched just a small portion of it.
Okay guys, we're on day 2 trekking Death Valley, and we are in Titus Canyon, and this rock behind me is 580 million years old. Start at ground level and gradually increase. So now to Titus Canyon. Okay, hey guys, getting a little more chillier now, so pulling out the gear feels like it's like 0 degrees right now. Okay guys, so here we are in the Badlands, and guess what this is? It's borax. It's what borax, soap detergent, is made out of. And it smells like it, and it comes off it. The borax wall. So this is the mine where they mine borax. Yeah, no, not borat. Wow, wow, wee, wah.
You know, it's kind of crazy. I love history. So when I'm walking through the Golden Canyons, you come across a couple mines, and obviously I had to go in and check it out. And these were the borax mines. This was the white gold. And you have to imagine how about 100 years ago, people didn't have this road condition, and they didn't have like all the equipment we have, and they just trekked into these mines looking for the white gold.
Okay, so here I am in my tent. First night was really cold. I was freezing. Last night was a little bit better, but it's raining today. And not that I'm a big fan of hiking in the rain and the cold, but it's an adventure, and hopefully it'll stop. It says Death Valley. It only rains 2 inches a year. Okay, I picked the day to go backpacking, probably where the whole year it's going to rain. But anyway, off day 3 and trekking in the rain. Okay, so we are in the bowl of the sand dune, and you can look, everywhere you look around is dunes. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, so let's climb that dune. Only leave footprints. There's no footprints, so I guess I'll be leaving my footprints though.
One of the main reasons I wanted to go to Death Valley was because I heard of the dunes. I was in Palm Springs and trekked miles and miles in the desert in 90-degree weather to see the dunes, and they weren't really there. But I heard of this and I saw pictures of them photographs. So when we got to the dunes, I was blown away because I was thinking, oh, it's just going to be little hills, but there are vastness of sand dunes. And one of the things I love to do is slide down them, roll down them, dune buggy down them. So this adventure was climbing up them. And at this time, there was not that many people there, so you were alone, like just trekking in this sand in these dunes and seeing just miles and miles and miles of the dunes. It's really an incredible thing to see, and I really didn't believe that this was so close to California to see these incredible, incredible dunes. Well, seeing how these dunes were formed, I mean, basically it was just from erosion from the mountains, and the wind is just blowing the sand bigger and bigger and bigger. Starts off small and gets big, and it sort of relates to martial arts. You know, you start off, you don't know anything, and then you just gradually practice and get your mind into it and just build, just like these sands, to be strong and powerful. Okay, so here we are in the basin, and this is the lowest place in North America, lowest sea level. And interesting, you know, leaving Death Valley, you know, the trek is almost done. It is the driest place on Earth, 134 degrees Fahrenheit. I thought maybe it would be like Africa or Egypt, but it isn't. So, driest and lowest in America, and the hottest place on Earth. It was interesting being so low below sea level on the ground. I'm used to it scuba diving, but it's just cool to be in places that it's the lowest sea level in the United States, and to watch the salt crystals formed was just beautiful. Okay, so today is the last day of backpacking and going to a mine now that actually in the 1800s, this in Death Valley, a lot of people came looking for gold, but really didn't find too much, but they did find the white gold, which is the borax, and going to a borax mine now in Death Valley. Okay guys, so we are at the Harmony Borax mine, and this is back from the 1800s, and people came here looking for gold, but they really didn't find gold. What they found was white gold, and white gold is what we mentioned before, is the borax. So these were the I don't know, what do you call that, like the coaches, the stage coaches that carried it in. They had mules come in. They went about 165 miles across the desert and possibly 134 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, getting the borax out of there was a feat. They had to have 20 mules and big buckets, and they had to refine this borax. They couldn't take it in raw. And you have to realize that the conditions were really, really horrendous and the heat was really high. But they had to do this to get the borax out. Many of the laborers were Chinese from San Francisco, and they just came for a better life, but working conditions were extremely hard. We think we have it hard. I mean, these guys are working in caves that are so hot. And remember, this is the hottest place on the planet. Trekking through Death Valley was such an adventure for me, but the hardest part was sleeping in the tent at night because it was so cold. So you're in one of the hottest places on the planet, but in the winter and it's raining, it's quite cold. The thing that I recall the most about Death Valley is just seeing some incredible scenery that you're not going to see anywhere else in the world.